All right, guys, RT Podcast 500.
500! Whoop!
We're doing something a little different, a little crazy.
What are we doing?
We're going to have a live animated podcast.
I like
It was
that.
cutting edge technology. We just figured it out.
Doing a live animated podcast. What does that even mean?
It means as we're podcasting, the animation department is animating it
Like
live.
right now?
In real time,
They're-
yeah.
I'm live. I do this.
Could I jump real
Look at
high?
this.
Yeah, just jump, and they'll animate you jumping.
Woo!
See, look, everything's so much better in animation.
I love this.
It's awesome. We should do every episode like this. All right, so I guess let's start the podcast.
All right.
All right, I'm Gus.
I'm Bernie.
I'm Barbara.
Gavin, hold on a second. Are we going to do this for the whole podcast?
Yeah, the whole thing.
So I feel like an obligation to talk about something really interesting. Oh, did you see the video of the raccoon that got into the bird feeder? Did you see
No.
that? Yeah,
No.
he like climbs, like wiggling up the pole. This big fat raccoon. He wiggles up. And
Wait a minute.
what?
Did you see that? They're like, something changed. What's going on?
I'm going to try to do the thing again. Hold on. No. What?
It doesn't look as good.
Barbara tried to jump.
Oh.
Gavin, quiet.
Yes, Gavin, stop interrupting.
We're trying to figure this out. Hey, what's happening?
We ran out of budget.
We're out of budget?
What is that? What?
Old man Hullum tightening the purse strings.
But they knew we were going to do this.
It's an hour and a half. How are they going to animate for an hour and a
But it's
half?
podcast
We
500.
ran out like 5 seconds in.
I told you this is not the way animation works. Why is it my mouth moving?
I don't wanna go
Why
back
is it
to
my mouth
Canada.
making the words?
I want to go back to Canada.
Gus, can you see my mouth moving?
Where's your mouth, dude?
Can you hear me? Because my mouth isn't moving when I'm talking.
Our bodies aren't moving either.
Where's your body?
We're just what?
What do we do then?
I don't know. Should we do it live? Barb?
Yeah.
Gavin? I can tell you want to do it.
Yeah, let's just go do it.
Look.
All
on
right, let's go do
faces,
it.
yes.
Screw it. Let's just go do it live. Forget it.
You know, right before we walked out, I made sure I didn't have my badge on. It's just like reflex before we go live, checking to make sure. it's
Thank
not
you for that
there.
nice round of applause. Please applaud yourselves. You all were the ones dumb enough to stick around for 500 episodes of this goddamn thing. You made it.
This 500th episode of the Rooster Teeth podcast.
It's embarrassing,
is brought
really.
to you by.
It's too many.
I'm Gus.
I'm Gavin.
I'm Barbara.
Bernie.
What do you mean it's too late? I'm Gus.
You scared me for a second there.
Oh, yeah. What? It's like time? Like we're back to the old
Way
time.
too many podcasts.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
What's a good number for podcasts?
150.
150?
A day.
Yeah, that's good.
So we lapped it like 3 times, and then some.
Hell, it's 500. It's 520 will be 10 years, right? So this is like 9.5 years of podcasting.
That's 2 decades.
This December will be 10 years for the podcast, and then next April or May will be 10 years weekly, because we were not weekly.
What
for
are we
the
gonna
first.
do for the 1000th podcast?
Eric. It's great having a producer on the podcast now, because I can just be totally checked out.
Right, but there's no area of your job now where you're checked in.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Like,
it's like
where are you still checked into?
It's the best job in the world. The other day we had a meeting to organize for Podcast 500, and Bernie, Eric, and I were all there. And after a while, I was just like, all right, I'm done. And I just walked out. Like, the meeting wasn't over. I was like, all right, you guys got this.
I love seeing you in podcast meetings too, because whenever I see you're in it, I always walk by and you're like this.
Eric, I think, has done more producing of the podcast in 30 days than you have done in 499 episodes.
That's pretty impressive.
In this meeting that we had the other day, Gus was literally like this the whole meeting. He's like, I'm leaving. And then he slams his laptop and get out. We were in the middle of discussing, I think, the 5th minute of the podcast, and he was out.
We were done.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was over. We had it down.
We've
We
done
knew what was going on.
499 of these things. We're good.
One of the things so we actually do some stuff, but one of the things I did was Eric and I had a meeting where we had to talk about, like, okay, we're going to make this RTAA for Podcast 500. What should we do? So we spitballed a bunch of ideas, and eventually, we saw what we settled on, and we're like, great, let's do it. And right now, right before the podcast started, backstage, Gavin asked me, so what's this RTAA about?
I wasn't there. Where was I?
I was like, what are you talking about? You're in it, man.
What gave it away that you weren't there? I wanted to just do my Gavin impression for the whole thing, but they wouldn't let me.
One of the things I've loved about working with this group for 500 podcasts, and a lot of the faces have changed. We've had people come on and off, but I think we've been
A lot of plastic surgery.
we've been the most consistent group, I think. And one of the things I love about it is that we tried to have a dress rehearsal earlier, and as soon as we sat down, we all just started talking about inane stuff from the week. And I love because backstage, Barbara came up and asked a ridiculously stupid question, but we all treated it with like the weight of like a serious life question. She comes up and she has a look on her face like this. Gavin goes, "What's up?" She goes, "What if my vagina was right here in the front?" Like it wasn't underneath. And Gavin goes, "Well, let me think about that."
It'd be convenient for one position.
Yeah, I'm just as invested in that question than any other question, like, what should I wear tonight? It's the same.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
what I
it'd
love
be.
about Gavin.
I think it'd be convenient.
I think it would too.
For only this. That's it.
What are you saying? Like,
Guys only want one thing, and it's disgusting.
when would it
Covers
be
a lot of
inconvenient?
territory.
Like doggy style or
Yeah, but I feel like if the woman had the flexibility, she'd do like downward doggy style with the yoga pose, and then you still have
so
access.
she'd be like upside down, basically, like hanging from your dick.
You're only selling this more and more.
Yeah.
I was indifferent before. Now I'm into it.
And Barb, you're stuck on the sexual implications of it. I mean, you could use it like, it's no gravity going this direction anymore, so you can use like a coin purse. You wouldn't need to carry a bag.
Oh,
You
like
just
stuff won't fall out.
You keep gum in there. Girls always have gum, so you just
sorry.
put that in there.
Keep
It's
what
true,
in there?
girl pockets do suck, so.
I heard something else entirely.
It was gum.
Oh, okay.
Barb, are you going on record as saying that the vagina was the first poorly designed woman pocket? Is that? The fashion industry just took a cue from the vagina and said, no pockets in anything.
Yeah.
Why
They're all-
were you even thinking about this? Do you have a problem with Trevor?
No.
Oh, okay. He knows where everything is, though.
I don't know. I honestly don't know why I started. Yeah, he knows where everything is. I don't know why I started thinking about it. I just for some reason, I had to pull my pants up here, and I was like, what if your vagina was like right there? And like, if you have like low-rider pants, you have like vaginas hanging out there.
Yeah, it would
when
be
guys
like
do,
butt crack. You'd have vag crack every now and then.
I mean, vaginas, like if they're hairless, kind of look like miniature butts.
Why isn't everything the same hole? Because immediately I'm thinking, where should my penis be? And should everything be the mouth?
Like we just have one hole.
One hole.
You want an out hole.
Because the thing is,
Some animals have that, right?
You want a separate out hole.
I want a separate out hole.
Yeah. You don't want to use your mouth to poop as well, do you? Do you?
I think as long as it bypassed all the taste buds,
It would
then
be
you're
like.
fine.
Wait a minute, let him talk. Let him talk. Wait, go ahead.
I don't want to taste it, but I'm saying if it was like, well, it's like piss, isn't it?
What?
No, it's like
Through your mouth?
it's like the woman's urethra is separate to where the penis goes, but it's all around there. It's in the
They're
region.
different holes.
Yeah, there'll be different holes, but in the same container.
So like you'd open your mouth and
You're-
there'd be like
Like,
pee hole.
like, for example, food and air, right?
Food and what?
Food and air.
Yeah.
No,
but
no.
also,
Separate holes.
yeah, but it comes
Yeah,
out
but
this
you have
one.
ear holes too. You want to get rid of those? Like you're in a conversation, you go, what?
But you're not putting stuff in or taking stuff out of there.
There's just more to go wrong when you've got 5 different holes.
You're,
Especially when you're dating a guy who apparently bangs you in the belly button.
It's tighter. What could I say?
you're kind of winning me over with your logic here, Gavin.
I think it's got some promise.
I think I'm on board.
There's got to be an animal somewhere that just has, it's just like legs and a hole.
I don't think there is.
You might be right.
We have a bartender, right? I feel compelled to ask her something.
Oh, ask for something.
Something really complicated.
No, you got a solid
Just
no on
put
that.
every single type
Can I
of
get
alcohol in
a
there.
beer handled with a plum?
Beer can be complicated.
Shiner? Or whatever? Whatever.
So where would be... Now I have a
Oh,
follow-up
oh.
question.
Cup. Yeah.
I have a follow-up question.
Yes.
Where would be A, the most convenient place for a vagina to be, and B, the least convenient place for a vagina to be?
I'd say like the most convenient would be just like at my house. Anywhere.
I think
You know.
least convenient would have to be like the bottom of your foot.
You just like,
No, then you got to get like, where it's like, how dirty is your foot? I mean,
yeah, I guess if you had to like pee or anything, it's like gotta sit on the bathroom floor and put your leg up in the
Oh
toilet.
my God.
Why would you
Bathrooms
sit
look
down?
so weird.
You're complicating it if you sit down.
I guess if you have
Just
good
lift your
balance.
foot up from a standing position.
it's got to be an extreme, right? It's either the bottom of your foot or the top of your head.
I would
that would
say
suck.
most inconvenient would be like right in the middle of your back. Where you
You can't reach it. You can't be sure who's back there ever, You have a lot of faith there. Have a lot of faith.
Girls would have a lot more tall boyfriends, that's for sure.
yeah. People could swap out, you might not notice.
I like that you dismissed Barbara's foot bathroom immediately as being ridiculous. Meanwhile, you're shitting out your mouth in the men's room, like right next door, and you're totally fine with that.
Starfish.
Oh.
No, doesn't it shit out of his mouth? Yes! It's got a little shit beak.
Surely there's like, in the crowd right now, there's like one marine biologist who's like, that motherfucker better say starfish.
I thought you
like
were
I've
referring
devoted-
to a sex position.
Oh, no.
So, hey, Eric, are you back there? You should be. You have a headset. I saw you. You looked very official.
Yeah.
Do you want to bring out that nice thing that you made that I was very complimentary of?
Worse getting a no.
Yeah, no, bring it out. Then we'll bring out people to help us eat it. How about that? Can you do that? You don't have it?
The thing. With
The dress rehearsal, folks. Dress rehearsal. We had not 10 minutes before you showed up.
the thing with the thing on it.
The thing with the thing on it. You got it. But we do have a special guest. Let's go ahead and bring them out while Eric recovers.
We got to wait on that one.
Why?
We got to wait a little bit.
Oh, we got it?
Oh, we
We'll
got-
get the treat
Yeah, we got
first.
this.
So Eric made this for us. This is our 500th episode cake.
And if everyone looks under their chair, you will not find any cake because there's no way to put cake under a chair.
This is, I love no matter how high the production value on the Rooster Teeth podcast gets, we still brought out the big thing in like a pizza box, essentially. It looks like we just got it from Amazon on the front porch.
There's really no flair.
Should we slide it off the box?
I'll take it.
Oh, damn it.
Oh, you got cake on your hand. Is that glued?
Put the mic down and use two hands, dude.
I think it's glued.
Someone glued it on.
Wear it like a top hat.
Oh,
It's tape.
Move the box! It's so heavy!
There. Did you ever think you'd reach a point in your life where you present a cake to a theater full of people and they applaud you for it?
No.
Because I think that might be
Never.
the stupidest thing I've ever seen.
And Gavin, because this is a special anniversary podcast, you can put that in whatever hole you want to. You can just jam it in wherever
you.
you feel comfortable.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we're ready for the other thing too, whenever. But are we supposed to just eat this with like our hands?
What's that? Yeah, I guess we're doing what? He'll get us a fork.
One
We have one
fork?
fork.
I mean, even still, even if you cut the smallest slice in the world, it's still a massive slice. That's a really illogical
It's like
cake.
a foot tall.
So, Gus, you're kind of a germ freak.
Yeah.
Right? You
Don't put your foot on it.
I'm
I was
not,
measuring.
I'm not eating that now.
Your vagina's there.
It's too close. She got in the gravity of the cake and got the germs on it. Now Gus
Yeah.
won't eat it.
It's everywhere.
So I was thinking about this because we went out to dinner a couple weeks ago for Gavin's 30th birthday.
You
He's
don't
an
have
old
to
man
say
now.
it every week.
I know,
I'm
I'd say it.
30.
And I was thinking, when you go out and eat with a big group of people, like, you make a big deal about washing your hands before dinner and being clean, and then everybody goes to a full meal, and then they all eat off of the same dessert plate.
Oh, yeah.
That's like, is that the most disgusting thing we do on a regular basis, is people eat from each other's dessert plates?
People are too sensitive about germs in
Did-
general.
Did you
I
see-
think so, too.
Did you see how I did it?
No. One bite and you're out?
I had my spoon. I made sure I was the first person to attack it. Got in there, got a big scoop of it, and I was like, "That's it."
Yeah, it's pretty nice. I mean, it's like when it's like ice cream and it starts to melt, and it's like that goopy, like germ soup, like that E. coli swamp that you
Yeah.
have on a plate. But it was delicious, and it was a wonderful.
Listen,
Would you prefer it if they gave one dessert, but gave like 90 spoons, so that each spoonful was a different spoon, and there's no germs.
I like that. Yeah.
That's not decadent in any way whatsoever. Or how about this? Everybody get their own goddamn dessert. That's it, you know? Or get little things that everybody can have one of, and that's it.
I wish they would serve like a third portion of a dessert. Like I wish that was an option at restaurant. Like because you usually get like an entire slice of cake
the
or
kids' menu.
whatever it is, but all I want is like a bite or two. I wish that was an option.
A little smidge.
Yeah, like get a smidge or a portion of dessert.
That's why I like cake balls. You have a cake ball? You ever eat a cake ball, guys?
Or donut
Yeah.
holes.
It's a cake ball? It's like a ball of cake.
It's the least cost-effective way to eat a cake.
Not sure I understand.
Yeah, but
I can't bring myself to fucking pay like $3 for a stupid cake ball. It's like this much cake.
Yeah, but a nice piece of sushi is probably more expensive than that.
Yeah, but you can buy a much bigger cake at HEB for like $10. Why would I pay $3 for this? Thank you. Yeah, someone else shares my pain here.
Should we get an ice cream scoop and just make cake balls?
That's a great idea.
That's an amazing idea.
Speaking of balls,
Oh, speaking of balls. Go ahead, Gus.
we have a couple of
I have
special
an
guests.
announcement to make.
I have a couple of special guests I want to show you.
Gus's balls.
Are they back there?
So we have a show in the historical archive of Rooster Teeth, a very popular show that once it was unfortunately taken off the air, it became a huge cult favorite and everybody asked for that show to come back. We recently had a teaser announcing the return of Sportsball. So here is the creator of Sportsball, Mr. Tyler Coe, and his co-host, Mia Khalifa.
Oh, yeah, nice.
Oh, thanks. We don't need you anymore.
Oh, forks.
What a gentleman. Oh, I got the mic in the pocket like a pro.
You're welcome. Again, no flair.
All right, give me that knife. I'm gonna open this thing up here.
You're gonna.
It's a real cake?
I've
It's
never,
a real cake.
No, it's a fake cake, Mia.
I've never heard anyone say I'm gonna open this up when in referring to cutting a cake.
That's why I
I'm
said it's
opening
a
the
real
box.
Oh,
dipshit.
okay.
Dipshit.
Now shut up while I open the cake.
Smallest knife for the biggest cake.
Am I gonna wait? I'm not. Oh my god.
Wow, that's not
Why
good.
am I?
You're my purse now.
What is this, like a 14-layer
Jesus
cake?
fucking Christ!
Look at the quiver.
Oh my God, put some muscle into it.
Good lord, no, there's
Wait,
like a layer here that's like a piece of wood in here.
Oh my
It's
God.
like plywood.
It's a nice cake.
It's 2 cakes.
Well, why didn't he bring us the knife?
Cake's fine.
Thanks
Cake's
for the
fine.
cake, Eric. We love it.
Eric, do you want the first piece?
Did you bake this yourself?
Oh, you animal!
Eric, here's your piece.
Oh.
There you go, buddy.
There you go.
Congratulations, Eric, on 500 podcasts. Started last week.
So, welcome, Sportsball.
Yes, thank you.
Coming back.
Thank you. Yes, I appreciate you guys having us on. I'm not sure why you had me on though. You know, that's not a good idea.
I'm not sure why I'm on Sportsball.
We had a good run.
Well, you guys had a good run. That's it, everybody. All right, pack it up. 500's over.
That was it?
That was it for the podcast. You're done. You're free. You can go.
I tried that once. You've been on the podcast before. I tried
I have. There's a
Man.
few shows that cannot be canceled that I'm on.
Why didn't you
this
invite
on
him
the
back?
spot.
because he didn't
And
get it
hopefully
canceled.
Sportsball.
And hopefully Sportsball. Yes.
So what are y'all going to be talking about? I feel like it's a weird time. Like the World Cup's winding down at the moment. Like what are the big things?
Oh
I
no,
mean,
this is the perfect time.
Yeah, it is, because we can just talk.
You could say shit.
You can say shit.
Say shit.
I think you asked me that for Always Open too. You're like, are we allowed to swear on
I
this
ask
show?
that
Yes, you
anything
can.
I go on because I've said it live on the radio before when I'm doing radio interviews. Actually, I think it was the word cunt.
Whoa! That's so much worse.
Wait.
They're not on the same level at all.
I apologize. I had no idea what we were getting into
Have
here.
some class.
Why'd you say
The
cunt?
Archie
Were you
podcast.
talking about the Yankees? What were you talking about at the time?
Probably. Someone
Yeah.
probably brought up the Cowboys.
There
and
you
I
go,
got
the
triggered.
Cowboys. So what happens when you say cunt on the radio? What do the hosts do?
So they have a dump button.
Right.
And they're like, nope, you're good. Just don't say it again.
Really, you got like 15-second buffer, but once they
I think
hit
it's
it,
7
you're,
seconds.
then you're live, right?
No, it's
Because-
it's
No.
an 8-second delay. I actually
Yeah.
used to be that guy that would dump bad words. I used to be a radio producer at ESPN, and so there's like an 8-second delay when you screw something up.
Yeah, you can bleep it Or
But-
like just cut that whole 8 seconds?
Yeah, you basically like, snip out that 8 seconds.
Yes, the listener will not hear it. Everybody in the room will know. We all know what happened, but everybody
and they
else
judge
won't.
you, and God knows what happened.
When that
too.
time is cut, are you then live? Like, do
Yeah,
you
then
use
you're
the
Yes,
live, right?
then the delay has to build back up again.
Yeah.
How does that work?
So then you're saying.
I don't know. I don't do science. I
Let's
talk
explain-
sports.
yeah.
Dead air.
Sorry, dude.
So then next time I'm on, I should say like shit, and then as soon as they beep it, just follow up with cunt immediately.
absolutely.
Like,
Wow.
They got like
That
nothing.
is sociopathic, and I love it.
They got no defense. It's like now you know their weakness.
Wow. I'm gonna ask to go on like a Dallas Cowboys radio station
You're not
and do that
though.
to them.
Nope, you're not. You're not going to do that. We're going to talk about what you go on.
Oh, do I have a? Can I only do sports with Rooster Teeth now? Is that in my contract?
No, you can.
Oh.
You just we're just going to talk about who you talk to.
Okay.
We're just going to
What
make sure
is
that we're all on
going
the same
on
page.
Oh my
here?
God.
They're talking about talking.
Yes.
So what can they expect? What can people expect from the return to Sportsball?
So they can expect a lot of the same stuff that you liked the original Sportsball for. So I'm still going to be a dumbass on the show. You get to enjoy me getting things wrong. We're still going to have Fuck You, Tyler. So if you guys like that segment, we're going to have
Because
that.
too many people like to hear "fuck you, Mia." So
It's okay. You guys can joke about it. It's fine. It's totally fine. We're also going to talk about more sports. So like one of the biggest things about getting Mia that I was really excited about is that she knows so much more about sports than I do, than most
Hockey.
people do. And hockey in particular was such a
Bless
big
you.
request.
Thank you.
Yeah, people were always asking for
really?
more hockey.
Oh, I was like, I didn't sneeze.
And Mia is, she's the expert. She knows everything hockey. So I'm excited to have her on for that knowledge. And I'm so excited for you guys to get to know Mia. She is wonderful. She knows so much about
Lying.
sports. Shh, I'm trying to help us out right now.
I'm just here for the cake.
I
You
know
don't have
you're
to lie.
like my least favorite person already. Like we haven't even started the show, and you get on my nerves all the time. But no, she's wonderful. She knows so much. I can't wait for you guys to get to know her. So
So why
Tyler is a man.
did you get into hockey? Out of all
Sorry?
sport, why did you get into hockey?
So I grew up playing it. I grew up in Maryland, Northeast hockey. Woo! You guys are from Maryland?
I was gonna ask. Maryland?
They're just liars.
Yeah, I mean, hockey and lacrosse are the two biggest sports up there, I would say. And I mean, Capitals, man. Yeah!
Capture.
It's our year. It was actually our year this year. But yeah, it's not like I grew up in Texas and I like hockey out of the blue.
I'm gonna relate this for you, Gus. The Capitals. That's the shirt that Pete Hines was wearing when he came out to introduce Fallout 76. That's the sports team. Is that
That's how
registering
have
with you?
That's how you have to level it for
Is
it?
that registering with you at all?
So is
Does he
Bunny
think-
trying to link
does-
sports to Gus?
Does he think I'm an idiot? I don't know what.
Gus, after 500 podcasts, if you're asking that question, the answer is yes. Can I get a whiskey and coke?
Who are you rooting for in the World Cup?
So that's a great question. So
And you better say England.
Well, I'm going to get to that. Well, now you just ruined it. Yes, it's England. I'm rooting for England. I can't. I hope they can. What is it? Bring it home. We're bringing it home.
Football's coming
It's
home.
coming home. It's coming
going
home.
What does that
coming
mean,
home.
by the way?
It's coming home.
Well, like when England hosted the Euros in 1996, the chant was like "Football's coming home" because we invented football. It's coming home to England. And when you win football now, if England wins, they bring football home. I think that's what it means.
Yeah. So it started
we'll
as
go
a
with it.
joke because England was supposed to be so bad, and now like it actually might be coming home. That's the amazing part about it.
They have not done well the past couple of World Cups.
Can I take off Wednesday so I can watch England lose the World Cup?
So do you think they're gonna lose?
Well, they got Modric playing. You know, they're a good team.
No,
Oh
no.
my God.
England is going
No,
to beat
England's
Croatia.
winning, yeah.
They're
I
going to
think
beat
they'll
Croatia.
I feel like
Yeah.
we've seen so many upsets this World Cup. Like I feel like disproportionately
Germany,
my number. So I
Mexico.
would not be surprised to see a Croatia upset of England.
No, I would.
What is the big upset so far?
Oh, there's been a ton.
Germany,
Um,
Mexico,
Germany
Italy,
was huge.
Brazil,
Spain was huge.
Canada.
What?
Yeah.
Like for the host country in Russia
They
to
didn't even
beat
make it.
Spain, I mean, Russia was the lowest ranked
Yeah.
team coming into the World Cup. Obviously, you know, you get to host, your team automatically gets in if you host. They had no business being where they were, and to beat Spain, I mean, Spain, who was the favorite coming into this thing, that was monumental. That was a gigantic upset.
I didn't expect Russia to get out of the group stage.
No, nobody did.
Yeah,
No.
and they.
This World
they-
Cup's been amazing.
They got way further than I think anyone would give them.
And I don't know
credit
if it's unpatriotic or patriotic that I was rooting for Russia to win.
Good for
Oh,
them.
I'm always rooting for
'Cause
Russia.
That's basically our country,
You're
right?
just- you're just rooting for the people.
Yeah, I was rooting for the people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted Russia to go all the way.
It was weird when they put
Shit, it got silent in there. Maybe I shouldn't have said that.
It was weird when they put Putin in as goalie.
Yeah.
I thought it was like really
Old choice, yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, could you imagine trying to score on Putin, though? That would be so fucking intimidating.
He plays hockey, and whenever he plays, the opposing team is not allowed to take a puck from him. Like no one is allowed to take a puck from him while he has it, and no one is the goalie is not allowed to block any of his shots. So the score ends up being 27 to 0.5 they almost got a goal, and they'll give them that.
That's
It's
some
hilarious.
North Korea
there's
level
videos
shit.
on YouTube of him playing with his beer league team.
Well, the best thing he ever did, and then I'm
Or
going to tell you all
vodka
some information about Sportsball that you need to know. The greatest thing Putin ever did, sports-wise, is Robert Kraft, owner for the Patriots, came over to visit and met with Putin. And so Robert Kraft has a couple of Super Bowl rings, courtesy of Tom Brady. And so he had one of these rings on when he met Putin, and they meet in a nice presidential hallway or whatever. Putin is flanked by all his bodyguards, and Putin says, "Can I look at the ring?" So he gives him the ring to look at, and Putin takes it, looks at it, and then puts it on his finger, and then just disappears behind his bodyguards.
No,
Yeah.
He just takes it and steals it.
that's
And
amazing.
Robert Kraft has never gotten it back, but also he couldn't object, what are you going to do? Say, no, yeah, give me that back, or go after it? That's not
I
gonna
mean, you just order a new one. You're
In-
Bob Kraft.
They were in Russia.
They're in Russia. Your ring is gone. You're not getting your ring back. That's why Tom had to go win another one for him.
That's amazing.
You ever seen one in person, a Super Bowl ring?
I have not.
I don't think I've seen a Super Bowl ring, but I've seen a championship ring, and they're enormous. They are.
Well, their fingers are so big to begin
Yes.
with.
Yeah.
Who pays for that? Does the individual player have to pay for it, or does the team buy it?
The team buys it for the team.
Yeah, and it's customized for they'll have their schedule on there sometimes, there's a number of diamonds, yada
But
yada.
each team has a designer that goes and decides what it's going to look like, and the placement of the diamonds and the amount
Let's
and
go
colors.
back to the big fingers. Why do they have big fingers?
Because they're 6'4", and
they're
doing
huge.
300 pounds.
Everything's big.
Yeah.
Everything's bigger.
Everything. It's all scaled up. And they're just looking for a girl with a vagina right about here somewhere. Could be your moment,
Or on
Barb.
the center of the back. Perfect height.
So, big changes to Sportsball this time coming back. What's one of the big changes that
Me.
people should know about it? Besides Mia. Mia, you should know this. You are probably, just to go off the top of my head here, you're probably the highest batting average for a guest across anything we've ever done at Rooster Teeth. If you show up on a
Really?
show, we get we've already negotiated your salary, right? That's already been done?
Yeah,
I can
yeah,
talk
that's
about
locked
this?
in. That's
Okay.
locked in. We
All
already
right.
got that.
Yeah, but seriously, when you show up at a show, the views on it absolutely soar. It's probably you and Jessica Negri.
Oh, wow. Oh,
Yeah. It's not like it's not like James Buckley. That guy's a cunt. So, he doesn't do anything.
Really hates the royal family.
He does, yeah.
Yeah. So when is Sportsball coming back?
So Sportsball is coming back the day after the World Cup final, July 16th. We are going to be airing right after this program. Sportsball is going to come on right after the RT podcast every single Monday for the first season.
Is it going to be live or is it?
It is
taped?
going to be taped.
Okay.
Yes. Quick turnaround on the show.
I say too many offensive things
Yeah,
for us to
that's
actually
right.
do everything live.
yeah.
No, really?
We've already run out of our quota of offensive words, so we got to get y'all out of here. So thanks so much for coming out. Good seeing y'all.
Thank
Yeah,
you,
good to
guys.
see you guys.
I'm going to get invoiced by the FCC.
So the biggest thing, though.
trying to get rid of them.
So the biggest change that is coming actually with Sportsball, which is really exciting, is you'll notice that we are calling this a Sportsball network. So Sportsball is going to have its own channel. It is going to have its own YouTube channel where Sportsball is going to live. It is also going to be on the Rooster Teeth site. It is not going to be for first members, so if you just want to watch a show, you watch it on the RT site. You can watch it on YouTube. You'll notice with Sportsball Network, Sportsball is not the only show that we're going to have on that channel. So a lot of you are asking, is the OG crew going to be back? What about Jack? What about Jeff? What
about Game
Joel?
Night? We
What
have a
about
Jeff.
Barbara? A lot of those other guys.
Yes, every sports fan is wondering where Barbara is.
They're going to be coming back. In what capacity? You guys are going to have to wait and see. What are you laughing at? What?
Keep talking.
It's.
You make me laugh.
I know I make you laugh. You got me in trouble today. That's another, we'll talk about some other time. But yes, all those people are going to be coming back. There's going to be other shows coming out. We're going to do a lot of fun stuff with this. So
Like,
we're
like
really,
a fitness show called Exercise Ball?
yeah,
That's
we
a
could do
great
that.
idea. I just
like
had that right then.
Yeah, we'll do an exercise show.
Don't forget to like and subscribe and use code MIACO for 20% off your flat tummy tea.
Yes.
All right, well, Sportsball is coming back because you all asked for it, so it's coming back on Monday. Be sure to show up and support these guys. Tyler, Mia, good to see you. Thank you for coming
Thanks,
on.
guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you!
You have a piece of cake, yeah.
I do. Get out of here. I do want to remind everyone this episode of the Receipt Podcast is brought to you by.
What is that?
Thanks.
So
I was working on my technique.
It's pretty good.
On you guys.
I got asked over the weekend. Someone asked me if I needed a sugar baby. It's like,
Was that an offer from them?
It was an offer from them to be my sugar baby.
Just
How-
a complete
how mu-
stranger?
A complete stranger,
What's his
someone I'd
name?
never seen in my life before.
Where were you?
I was driving down Burnett.
Driving?
Let me tell a story. And I saw a 7-Eleven, and I thought, I could really use a Coke right now. So I was like, I'm going to go into the 7-Eleven, I'm going to get a soda. And I start pulling up to the parking lot, and there's a car with like a bunch of women getting out of it. And I think, I don't want to park next to them because I don't, like,
You don't
they're
like
all getting out. They're
people?
Are you
they're,
afraid
they're
of
like
them?
taking up
Because
space.
they're people.
So I leave a space and I park in the next space. And I get out of my car and I start walking into the 7-Eleven. And I see that the women that are all getting out of the car are all employees there. And I'm like, oh, that's weird. They must just be doing a shift change or something. And I start walking into the convenience store. And one of the women looks at me and she looks at my car, and I got my Model 3 recently. She sees the Tesla Model 3 and she goes, "Are you a doctor or something?" And I go, "Nope." And I keep trying to walk into the store. She goes, "Well, what do you do?" It's like, oh, here we go. I'm like, filmmaker. And I keep trying to walk in the store. She's like, "What kind of film?" Oh, God damn it.
Well, ma'am, have you ever wondered what would happen if your vagina was in a different place? Because that's what I do for a living.
So I say, comedy. And she's like, "Oh, okay. Your car's real nice. You must have a lot of money." And I'm like,
Nice.
"Well, I ordered the car 2 years ago, so I've had advance notice for it." And she goes, yeah. And she sees she has a dealer tag on. She goes, "Oh, it's brand new, huh?" I go, "Yep, just got it."
She's
And
really
she-
upfront.
And she goes, "You need a sugar baby or anything?" I'm like, "Nope, I don't. Totally okay." Anyway, and I go, "Anyway, see you later, take care." And she goes, "See you later, I'm working right now." And she follows me into the store.
She works at 7-Eleven?
And I'm like, "Oh my God." So then I'm like, I just gotta get my soda, gotta get my Coke, get out of here. So
I can't believe you still went for the Coke.
I was already in there, like, I didn't know she worked until, like, she followed me in. I was like, crap. All right, so I just, like, I get my Coke, and then she's working at the register.
Oh, no!
So I got it,
Did you pull out your wallet? It was full of like $100 bills.
She's looking in.
and I walk up to the register. She goes, "Is that all you're getting?" And I go, "Yeah." She goes, "Yeah, go ahead, it's on me." And I was like,
Oh, boy.
"Okay, thank you." I just took it and turned around and walked out. I was like, I can never go back to that store again.
I
you
think she
stole a
just
Coke.
made you her sugar baby.
Yeah? Who's the real
She's
sugar
buying
baby?
you shit.
She gave me a lot of sugar.
I think that's what if I were you in that position and she like the first thing she does is ask you what you do. If I were you, I would have been like, "I'm a sugar baby." Squash that right there.
Yeah,
So-
now I know for future reference. Can I get a fork?
But you didn't find out how much it was per month or
No.
anything?
I was like,
God, you had a chance and you blew
Yeah,
it.
you were right in there with.
I can
some
go
information.
back. I can go back to the store and ask her.
Was she cute?
Does that matter?
Would you fuck
She
her
wasn't.
stomach?
She wasn't my type.
Politically correct.
I don't know what your type is.
So I have a. It's funny that you say that when she walked in with you. I don't want to tell the story, but I'm gonna tell it anyway. God damn it. So my shoulder bugs me a little bit, and I go on a fairly regular basis. I go and have my shoulder work done. I go to a massage therapist, and I get a massage. Barbara, they massage my shoulder to fix it.
What did they do?
They massage it. And
One more time.
So I hadn't gone in a while, hadn't gone in like 2 months. I was going regularly. Then something happened where I did a thing where like I had an appointment, then forgot I had an appointment,
Did it shut off?
and I didn't go and didn't shut off. And because I missed the appointment, I was like embarrassed, so didn't go back at all for like 2 months. Finally went back, called in. I was on my phone in my car. Fuck. So I called in. I called the place. It's just like this club. Like it's like you pay $40 a month, and they give you one massage a month, and you go. So I said I need to make an appointment for this week, and they said, "What do you want? Do you want to do deep tissue or like relaxation?" I said, "I'm working on my shoulder, so I need to do deep tissue." And so they said, "Okay, well, we have this person, this person, and this person." I said, "I'll take this person. His name is Larry." I said, "I'll take Larry because I can do it at 3 o'clock." And they were like, okay. They were like, great. What are you laughing about, Gav? You freaked out that I have a male masseuse?
I'm surprised, I'll be honest.
Really? Why?
I only know 2 people named Larry. One is the one who works for Achievement Hunter. The other one's my dad. So I'm just
I was
picturing both
imagining
of
Barbara's
Yeah.
dad.
But like, I go to male masseuse because they can usually, they're stronger, no offense, and they can get in deeper and
How
harder
is that?
on me. So, and then sometimes they let me blow them. So that's the reason I go to a massage. No big deal. Now I really don't want to tell the rest of the story. So I'm driving, so I make this appointment, and I'm all nervous about missing my appointment again because I missed the last one. So I go, hey Siri, beep, comes up. I say, make an appointment, massage appointment tomorrow at 3 o'clock with Larry. And she goes, okay, scheduling your appointment tomorrow, massage appointment with Larry. Do you want me to schedule it? I said, yeah, confirm. She goes, okay. About an hour later, Larry Herb, Major Nelson from Xbox Live, calls me or emails me. And he says, hey Bernie, I got this request for an appointment tomorrow. And I have a lot of conflicts at that point in time. So I don't think I can make this meeting.
Holy shit!
I wanted to die. I wanted to die. I was like praying a meteor was gonna hit the earth and just kill us all. And he took it, you know, he's a very nice, gracious guy, ultimate professional, right, Gus?
Oh,
And
yeah.
he took it in stride, and then I looked later, and I was overly embarrassed about it, and he was very like, oh, no big deal, it happens all the time. Then I looked, and thank God, I looked, and it just made the appointment as Mr. Appointment. That's what it was called, because it was Siri, and it like didn't understand
Yeah.
me.
So useless.
So it left the massage thing off, but it recognized him from my contacts and just mailed him and said, hey, come to this massage.
So at least it sounds like the story had a happy ending.
Oh, I was mortified. Absolutely mortified by that.
That's such a dangerous feature.
Oh, it was
That could have been so much worse.
It could have been way worse.
What's the worst Larry it could have been?
What happened,
It
Larry?
could have been
Work?
your dad.
Yeah, that would have been hard to explain to my dad. Yeah, so Bernie wants you to give him a massage or give you a massage? I'm not
If
quite
I had
sure.
another Larry in my contacts, it probably would ask me to confirm which one, but it's only because I just had him.
I'm just confused why you had to specify that it was Larry. Like, you couldn't just schedule a massage
Yeah, why
tomorrow
don't you
at
say
3?
rubs at 3? What, like,
I don't know. I'll need to think about that, Barb.
Well, just so he knows when he goes to the place, like who's he meeting with. It reminds him.
so how is this firmness?
What's that? He was great.
How's the shoulder feeling?
It feels better, but it's like, I don't know. I feel like it feels better as soon as you get out of there. And then I'm old, so it just like kind of like dries out after a while, and then it just goes all creaky and everything like that.
Your dehydrated shoulder?
Like, do you have that thing where, well, Gus, you have this, like, when you stand up, something on your body's gonna pop?
Yeah.
Like some joint is gonna pop?
It's my left leg. It's like normally my left knee.
You guys don't have that, right?
I do.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
God, I just like, every time I get up from the couch or something, Ash is like, holy cow.
No, the worst is not that something pops. The worst is that I make a noise. Anytime I stand or anytime I sit down. Like when I sit down, it's like, ugh. It's like, God damn, when did that start? It's just involuntary reflex.
I've been spending a lot more time on planes lately, and I've been noticing that my butt has started going numb if I sit for too long. Mm-hmm. Is that something that happens to everyone, or am I sitting wrong?
That happens to me only on planes. I feel like the cushioning is so thin and my ass is so bony.
The weirdest part, and I think I've talked about this either on Always Open or the podcast before, and ladies, if you've had this before, when part of your vagina goes numb, right? But it's like only half of it. It's never the full thing.
Like side to side or front to back?
Like
half?
side to
Oh,
side.
okay.
So you're like talking just vulva, like just labe.
It's usually, just like one of the lips. It's hard to explain.
So your vag looks like this. It's like.
It like just had a tooth pulled at the dentist.
Oh my God.
I wonder if that would be a turn-off as a guy, if you were just delving down there and one side had a stroke.
Oh.
Like, what would you...
It's a lot better than finding a tooth. I can guarantee you that. that would be the turn-off. Hey, so I want to do something, but before I do that, I want to seed something in y'all's head. So this is the 500th Rooster Teeth podcast.
That's a
We've
lot of
done
podcasts.
500 of these things. And over the course of 500 podcasts, we said a lot of things. We said a lot of things a couple of different times.
It's like 30 days nonstop of podcast.
Yeah, what was it? Eric had the number for us. 30 and a half days.
Yeah.
It's basically March, almost, is what we have.
I said we should start a podcast challenge.
What's that?
See if anybody can listen to all 500 episodes without sleeping.
Oh, God.
Like
No,
nonstop,
what?
back to back to back to back.
That's literally impossible.
Don't know.
We got the Tide Pod challenge. Why not the RT Podcast challenge?
We're going to bring Ezra on a little bit later, but actually I think one of the only things that's ever been shut down by legal, said you absolutely can't do this, was for Day 5, Season 2, I wanted to have a contest with 2 people from the community to see if they could stay awake with medical supervision for 5 days. And legal was like, there's no fucking way you're gonna do that. And I was proving that, like, the research we did for Day 5, there was a kid in the 60s who stayed awake for 11 days. He's actually referenced in the show. And I said, so yeah, it can totally be done. They're like, no, we're not doing that.
You will kill someone.
Have they never heard of a waiver? You just sign that. You're good.
Yeah, we should try the waiver. That's a good idea.
I mean, you make me sign them all the time. There's nothing wrong with that.
True. That's true. Upon meeting people, just make them sign it. So, because this is 500 podcasts, I thought it would be a great idea if we look back over those 500 episodes and we choose 3 different moments for each of us. So each of us tonight gets a clarification. You can clarify some point that you made over the course of all these episodes that you didn't come across correctly on, and you thought later, oh, I should have said this or I should have said that. Clarify one thing. You can have your I was right moment, the moment that you were proven right sometime in the last 9.5 years. And then we're going to give each of us a retraction that we all had bad moments on the podcast. We're going to choose the moment that we can just say, that moment didn't happen, it is retracted, and we will never mention it again.
But like us and the audience?
Sure, yeah,
Could
they
you
can't
never
mention it
mention
either.
Y'all are on the hook too.
Good luck with that. All right, so be thinking about that.
Okay.
Be
Back in
thinking
my
about
mind.
that.
Let it percolate.
Okay, so we'll come back to that later in
Yeah.
the show. In the meantime, though, one of the most popular things we've done over the last 500 episodes.
Audible gasps.
They're going to be so disappointed when we introduce the rest of the show as a clip show.
Oh, are we counting that one?
Yeah.
Oh, we are?
Yeah, it's just going to be us
Could that
repeating
be
our
our
favorite stories.
retraction?
That's it. We're just going to repeat stories, so it'll be like the last 499 episodes as well when we repeated stories nonstop. One of our favorite things we've done over the last 500 episodes is we have played a game in which we have pitted young Gavin Free against the juggernaut search engine known as Google.com in a game we like to call Gavin or Google. Do you guys want to play? All right.
Gavin or Google?
Google or Gavin?
Which
one said
Let's
it?
find out.
Let's
Hey,
find out. Hey,
I'm feeling lucky.
all right.
That was really loud.
If you have never played Gavin or Google before, the way we play the game is I take a 2 to 4 word phrase and I type it into the search engine Google, and I find the most ridiculous autocomplete based on searches that people have made using that term. I then take that same 2 to 4 word phrase, I give it to Gavin Free, and we try to figure out who said it. Gavin or Google?
Bing.
Are you ready to play? Gus
Yes.
and Barbara. Yeah. I'm just going to, for the sake of this, we're going to wipe the record clean. This is for everything.
Wipe, wipe, wipe.
This is for...
But I've won so many.
I know, but that doesn't count.
This takes the first 500 podcasts,
Throws them out.
the whole trophy.
This is the
So
World
this
Cup.
is for the next 500.
This is. All right. Okay. It's always hard to figure out which one to read first. All right. Which one said this, Gavin or Google? Why does a dog having sex with your leg not break the law, but if you jerk the dog off, it does?
Can I get a repeat on that?
Wait, what's the phrase you put into Google?
What?
What?
I'm sorry. The phrase that I put in, why does a dog?
Okay.
Why does a dog? Everyone, it's why does a dog? I said dog like my mother. Dog. Stay away from that dog, Michael. It's going to bite you. All right. So either Gavin or Google said, why does a dog having sex with your leg not break the law, but jerking off the dog does?
Does jerking off a dog break the law?
Yeah, Gus. Hey, Eric, next week we need a dog for the podcast.
What law?
Two of them.
Can its vagina be right about here? All right. Then the other phrase for why does a dog eat its own throw up, but it won't eat mine? Barbara, do you want to go first? Which one was Gavin and which one was Google?
Could I say both of them are Gavin?
Will a dog not eat human vomit?
I'm gonna say the. What the fuck? I'm gonna say the jerking off one is Gavin.
Gus?
Oh, that's convenient, because I think the vomit one is Gavin.
Barbara Dunkelman gets a point. That was Gavin. Explain.
Explain. I mean, it's the same outcome. Like, one of them's illegal.
The
I
results are
think
the
one
same.
is active and one is passive, though.
I can't believe that there would be a law about that. I thought we lived in
I'm
a
just guessing.
small government state. They don't need them regulating my life.
I actually don't even know how you would jerk off a dog.
Do you help it get to Red Rocket, or do you help it once Red Rocket is achieved?
I'd let
I don't have a dog. I don't really know how any of that works.
Hey, Gus, I have your candidate for a retraction whenever you want it.
I'm curious, that's all. I'm just saying what everyone's thinking.
Hey, no. Here's what I'm learning. He said the end result is the same. I'm learning that Gavin has had dogs hump his leg to completion.
I've never had
Is
that
that-
happen. I assume if you don't kick them off, that's what they do.
They'll finish?
Yeah, don't they finish?
I don't know, Gavin.
Has anyone had a dog finish on their leg sleeves?
You don't have to answer that. You paid to be here. You don't have to answer that.
Normally you'll even get like a joke hand raise. There was none.
Yeah, this guy put his thumbs up. I think it was a thumb. I'm not sure. It was something that went up.
Is this the proudest moment of your life right now?
Can that guy sign a waiver, please? Okay.
What was it any different to when you jerked off the dog? We gotta find out.
It's a family show.
No, it's not.
All right, so Barbara has 1 point. Gus has the big goose egg. Next thing I entered into was, gosh, which one should I pick? Okay, can people, One asked, can people produce any other liquids while lactating?
Orange juice?
I should have that wrong. Can people produce any other drinks while lactating? Drinks.
Okay.
That significantly changes
It's a
that
huge,
answer.
huge difference.
And the other one was slightly more simple. Can people get fleas? Can people get fleas? I don't know.
That's a good question.
Yeah, of course people can get fleas.
When did you have fleas?
You jerked off a dog.
And that's why there's a law.
Because of fleas.
Because of fleas.
All right, Gus, since you're behind, which one is Gavin? Which one was Google?
I think the lactating one was Gavin.
Barb?
I was going to say the same thing because of specifically the word drinks.
Okay, so I went back and reread it, and it's drinks.
Yeah, the fact that he said drinks, I absolutely know that's Gavin.
So the score is not going to change here. Barbara's still going to be leading by a point.
What if it was Bev's?
You each get a point. That was Gavin.
So can
What other
a
drinks?
human ever make any other drink?
Well, if I assume at some point it's water, and then something else gets added to it to make it milkier. I don't know whether
So
actual
you
milk.
think
like,
that
bit.
a woman's breast is like a compartment of powdered milk and a compartment of
condensed
water
milk.
that gets like mushed together in the
Well,
nipple
okay.
at the last second?
At some point it's just water, right? And the body makes it milk.
Is it?
It must be.
I don't think that's the way it works.
Is it not?
No.
I was thinking maybe one day water would just come out. Possibly.
I don't think that's possible.
All right. We've all learnt a lot.
We.
I just got Becca. I'll get back to it. Becca just texted me something here, though. She said, did we ever talk about Australia being upside down with Becca?
We
I know
have
you guys
talked
came
about it
after me.
being.
Maybe she's suggesting that that's what I should retract.
You should retract
No,
that.
fuck you. I was right. That's my I was right moment.
No.
Australia's not upside down. Fuck off. It's the rules. All right, last question, unless you guys have a tie. God, there's so many stupid ones on
Who
here.
is this? In chat, Grimview says that's called sweat, Gavin. But that's
Sweat
salt water.
from the
You can't drink
nipples.
salt water.
Yeah.
I beg to differ.
All
the
right.
next
Put a cup
All
right,
right,
up to my
let's do
armpit.
that. This is, did we go? Did we go? Did we go? One of the groups asked, did we go to war last night? What a horrible world we live in. The other asked, did we go to the moon when it was full?
I mean, I could kind of see the logic behind that. Like, what phase of the moon did we see on Earth? Like, could we have looked in a telescope and seen them?
Yeah, like I could see the collective humanity being dumb enough to ask that question.
That's an interesting one. Who has to go first?
I'm gonna let you go first because you're behind. But Barbara should go first. That way she just can't choose your answer and win.
Okay, Barbara.
Barbara, you gotta go first.
Fuck.
It's a very official game.
See, what I do, this is the process for Gavin or Google. I listen to both answers in Gavin's voice. And I figure out which one sounds more like him. Did we go to war last night?
Accurate.
Accurate. Oh. Did we go to the moon when it was full?
The moon was waxing crescent when we landed on it for the first time.
What's waxing?
Like where you see that tiny little sliver
It's the
of moon
opposite of
on the right
waning,
side.
right?
Yes.
Wax on, wane off? Is that what it is?
Yes.
Is that what they said? All right. So wax is right and wane is left?
Yes.
Got it.
This one's hard. I'm going to say the did we go to war last night was Gavin.
Gus, what would you like to say?
I'm gonna say the moon one was Gavin, just to mix it up here.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a tie.
Oh, shit.
I could see why on the, like I felt like that's a classic Gavin misdirect, where you look at the question on its surface and it seems absolutely stupid, but there is a rationale behind it.
Well, I was thinking it'd be better publicity if it was full. Because more people are looking at the moon when it's full.
Right.
You don't really notice
It was
the moon
when we landed on it. It was only 4% visible.
Yeah. I think that's a mistake.
Yep.
Do we have a tiebreaker question?
So did they land in the dark?
We do.
Like, what time was it on the moon when they landed? Was it day or night? Why don't I know these things?
Gavin, it has to be night because the moon is out. Think about it. It's always night on the moon.
They had no moonlight to light the way either, so it was just pitch black.
Yeah, it's hard when you're on the moon.
All right, we have a tiebreaker. And so, just going to this tiebreaker, Barbara, I hope you're okay with this. You guys have to choose a different answer, and I'm going to allow Gus to go first because he has the most appearances on the podcast and has done a effectively mediocre job over the course of 500 episodes of producing the podcast.
Yep.
How is this the show we've done with the most episodes? It is, right?
What about red versus blue?
No, but
No.
Breakfast Blues isn't weekly.
Oh, true,
No.
true, true.
Yeah, I mean, we started the podcast much later. Yeah, but it's probably this. RTAA is.
RTAA would be the second longest,
It's
and that's
right behind
derivative.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is. Whatever that's worth. Good for us.
See, aim your sights for mediocrity. That's the secret to longevity.
That's
That's not a real
longevity.
word, and I just fucked it up. But I'm gonna stand by it.
That's why you're mediocre.
That's
why you're around so
mediocrity.
long. I think the lesson to be learned there is you can't get canceled on the internet. Unless you're Tyler.
Even if Mia Khalifa comes
I had to
out and
make the
says
joke
awful
once.
things.
All right.
I'd never met her before
okay.
tonight.
So this is our last one. This is for the championship, the World Cup of Gavin or Google. The phrase is, how much? How much? How much house is too much house? How much house is too much house? The other is, how much is a human body worth if sold by parts? How much is the human body worth if sold in parts? I do like that whoever submitted that, whether it's Gavin or somebody on Google, knows how much the body's worth on it, like it's whole.
Total.
They just want to break down.
All right. Gus, you get to go first. No pressure. Lots of pressure. Are you feeling pressure?
I feel a lot of pressure.
There's pressure.
I'm gonna
that's
go with how the body parts is Gavin.
Thank God. I was gonna go the house is Gavin. How much house is too much house?
Is that where you were headed anyway?
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Holy shit.
your champion is Mr. Gus Cirola.
Wow.
Hey, look at this! I didn't know there was a medal. What the fuck?
Oh man, so harsh.
Thank you. Yeah.
I mean, that is the whole game right there.
That looks terrible in the wide, by the way. Putting white hoods on me.
So that was actually I think this is the part of the meeting where Gus left, was we were talking about the dunce cap. And we got into the debate of whether or not a dunce cap was ever actually used, or if it was just something that somebody at some point made up. And we looked up photos, and you're right. It does look like they're training early Klansmen, because they're all like photos from the 20s, and they're little kids.
Are they
And
white too?
Yeah, I think only white kids could go to school back then. I don't know. It's a long time ago. Oh, the hats are white.
What is this?
It's not me, it's the country. Y'all live here too.
I felt like, I always wondered if it was just like a cartoon thing, if it was a real thing that actually happened. And I looked it up, and you can find like historic photos of children in classrooms wearing dunce caps. It's like, that was really a thing.
Could you imagine doing that to a kid today? You put them in the corner and put a dummy hat on them?
When I was in second grade, if our teacher caught you chewing gum, she would make you put it on your nose for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
And if she caught you talking in class when you weren't supposed to be talking, she would duct tape your mouth shut.
There was a teacher who didn't let one of my classmates go to the bathroom, and we were in the second grade, so she sent him to the corner because he was complaining too much, and he shat himself in the corner.
Oh my God. Did she feel terrible about that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
We did.
Yeah.
Classroom smelled like shit for the next 4 weeks.
Honestly, it's probably one of the most important events in that person's life. I mean, really,
Oh,
you
yeah.
think about that forever.
Well,
I
luckily,
mean, I remember it.
it's much easier to learn nowadays thanks to the internet. And I want to remind everyone, this episode of the Rooster Teeth podcast is also brought to you by.
Thank you.
I'm gonna walk up to the bar. I'm gonna get a bev.
Do they have? Do you think they have typing on there?
Why?
I still can't type.
You still can't type?
I know.
Do you still do fingers?
Yep, 2 fingers on each hand, and my thumbs.
I realize I don't use my pinky to type at all. I just kind of hold it out awkwardly, like it's trying to escape the rest of my fingers.
Did you take a typing class?
Did you?
No.
So you guys just taught yourselves how to type?
Well,
so you
I
don't
looked
know.
at how many fingers I have. I looked how many keys there were, and I thought I can spread this out. Well, how do you run in PUBG?
What, Gavin? That's like saying you learned a language by counting the number of words. I mean, it's like, how does that help? Typing is a skill.
Okay, let me ask you this. Why don't you type with just one finger?
Because I have 10.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I mean, I have 10 fingers, but which key goes for which finger? That's a whole thing.
Does it matter unless like you could just do it?
So you just taught yourself to type. I mean, I can type.
I can't believe you still can't type. We used to make fun of you for this in season 1. We would
Yeah.
watch you sitting there writing the scripts. We'd be like, oh my God, are you really doing this with 2 fingers?
Yeah.
Whoa. How are you holding that microphone right now? You're nailing it. Or did you just pick up the damn microphone because that's instinct?
Gavin, this isn't a weird thing. People learn how to type. It's a thing that people actually. Did you take a typing class?
I took a typing class.
Raise your hand if you're under the age of 50 and you took a typing class.
Oh, that's a lot of people.
Is it an American thing? Is it an American thing?
Embarrassing.
The entire
Every
audience.
single person in the room put their hand
That
up.
was like 90% of them.
Yeah.
My argument fell apart.
I'm amazed.
Everyone else who didn't raise their hand can't fucking type.
Wait, I'm curious. If you did not raise your hand, can you raise your hand now?
Right, but you can still type, right? Everyone can type. It's a waste of time.
In the end, if you think about it, you end
Type
up
well.
saving more time if you can type quickly over the course of your life because you get through your typing a lot more.
Who says you can't
quickly.
type quickly if you didn't take a class though?
You can definitely type more quickly if you've taken a class.
All right, teach me something from your typing class. Teach me something I don't know about typing.
It's not that.
It's just practice and repetition and muscle
I've
memory.
done that. I was on your website when I was 14.
Yeah, but I'm sure I can still type faster than you. Are we gonna have a type off? I will destroy you.
Are we gonna do the type off before or after the office suck off? Which we have yet to do.
You've heard me on that mechanical keyboard before. You know I can tear it up.
Well, congratulations, Gus. I am over here trying to think of something that would be more boring than a typing contest, and I literally can't think of it.
500 episodes. People are still listening.
Also, I hate looking over and seeing you in that medal. I don't know why. Feels like we just had a spelling bee or something, or
So-
math camp.
So for everything you do, you took a class?
Not everything, Gavin. It's a normal thing to learn to type. Did you learn how to write, Gavin?
did.
Yeah. How'd you do that?
Well, because I actually had to learn letters, like learn language and stuff. Mm-hmm. So I was taught that.
So you've already passed the first day of typing class where they teach you the letters. You're way ahead. Do you know the
don't
numbers
think-
too? Because that's day 2.
Right, coming from the guy who doesn't want to use 24 hours because it's too hard to do maths? It's too hard to add 12 to a number?
No, I'm fine with it. I just don't want to use it because I'm American, and this
Okay.
is our way superior. That's it.
That's fair.
It
Hey,
is.
I'm in your country.
Well, listen, we were just talking about taking the trip over for Arctic's London, over to London. It's in London.
Is it that way?
We were talking about how it's
Where?
left-hand drive, but I was talking with somebody who went from Ireland to Northern Ireland, and the only way they knew that they had changed countries, they were expecting like a checkpoint or something like that, but the only way they knew they had changed countries was they went from kilometers in Ireland to miles and miles per hour in the UK. So you guys just choose whatever you want, basically.
You guys use miles per hour in the UK?
I didn't know that either. Yeah, I thought they would have been kilometers.
Yeah.
I'll admit, it's a mess over there. We don't know what to choose from.
So Brexit's not going to happen, right?
No, it's definitely happening.
Is it?
Yes.
Who's the dude who just resigned?
Boris Johnson resigned because the Brexit's not going to. This is the political portion of the podcast. Theresa May's Brexit outline was not hard enough. She's aiming for a soft Brexit, not a hard Brexit. So 3 ministers have resigned in protest over that.
How soft do you like your Brexit?
I like my Brexit over easy.
I like a full English Brexit.
So you'd get along with Boris Johnson then.
Do you like a deep tissue Brexit?
Only if
I
a
just
dude
want to
gives
point
it
out
to me.
everyone has made a pun except me in this podcast.
Don't make that joke, because then Major Nelson will write me and say, why am I leaving the EU?
Do you want to do your first clarification or retraction or thing?
Oh, okay, let me pull it. I had time to prepare this, so I actually have mine written down.
Yeah,
What
Bernie
should we do?
suggested we do this about 5 minutes before the live show. And I'm like, cool.
Well, you
Let
don't,
me
you
just.
don't, if you thought you were
I've got mine.
perfect-
I know. I'm all over it.
I have 2 out of the 3.
Oh, I got my clarification.
Okay, go.
I want to clarify something. I want to clarify 2 things.
You get 1. Bitch.
Well,
Do you want me to clarify yours for
no,
you?
I'm just saying, if I could do 2, I would have said I wasn't pooping in the room when Joel was taking the shower. I was only peeing. And but I'm not going to say that because I want to say this one instead.
You make a game and you break the rules.
So, on the story that became an RTAA, where we were at Michael and Lindsay's wedding, and I convinced Monty that he could cut the cake while they were out taking pictures. And then Monty went, oh, he's like, I'm so hungry. And I said, well, Monty, that's why the cake is sitting out right there. It's like, just go get yourself a piece. He goes, yeah, but nobody else has got any cake yet. I go, yeah, but they're just waiting. Just go ahead and do it, dude. I go, I'll go with you. I'll get a piece too. And then, of course, when he started walking, I just hung back, like, oh my God. And he got the knife, and Sheena, his wife, was like, what? You're insane. What are you doing? I want to clarify. I would have never let Monty cut the cake, actually. I would have just seen how close Monty was going to come to actually cutting the
You
cake.
don't know how fast he could have chopped that with a knife.
He is quick. He was quick, yeah.
It's like Brandon touching the wire.
Yeah.
Anime eyes. Psh.
So, I would have, to clarify, I would not have let Monty cut the cake at Michael and Lindsay's wedding. I swear I would not have.
Fair enough.
People were very offended that I was...
I don't have a clarification, but I have a I was right moment.
I bet you do.
Shocking.
The iPhone 4S came out with only one model.
That's not true. There were multiple models. This has been proven wrong.
There was only one 4S.
Oh yeah, well my I was right, was you can't buy fucking butter in one stick. You absolutely can't. We've been looking for a year and a half and nobody's found it.
People tweet it to you all the time.
It's the fucking garlic butter.
They've also
It's
tweeted
a
normal
spray.
butter.
No. I was right. Hey, guess what? I was right about that. That's the rules.
It's gonna kill me. All right.
I was right.
All right.
Well, I have a retraction.
Oh, okay.
Like, so I can basically erase this from history, right?
Yes, we can't ever bring it up again.
I never said headlight fluid.
Barbara, do you have a retraction?
I don't know if I could top that one. I have a serious retraction. It's something that's been bothering me for literally 5.5 years. You all know what it is. On one of the first year I was on the RT podcast, I was very nervous all the time, and I would say a lot of really, really stupid, incompetent shit. And one of the things I talked about was Twitter, and how I don't understand why people who don't have a lot of followers tweet. I explained that so badly, and I just want to retract that from history forever and always, and no one is ever allowed to reference that conversation ever again because I was a fucking idiot.
All right, it's gone.
It's deleted from the internet.
Thank you, please.
In that vein, I just want to say, I would not have molested the kid. I really... I would like to retract that statement. That I was going to go into the public bathroom and molest the kid. That was just a joke.
I want to
retract that forever.
I want to retract the discussion about airplanes on treadmills.
Like the whole,
I don't ever want to talk about
Please don't.
an airplane
Please
on
leave
a
that.
treadmill ever again.
What did you say? That
No, nothing. I didn't say anything. It didn't happen.
I have a I was right moment.
All right.
It is perfectly fucking normal to pee in the shower.
It is.
Apparently.
Barbara's right.
Yep.
In 2012, we went to a movie premiere, and we were brushed by Donald Trump.
We were.
As we walked in. And right after that happened, I said some things about Donald Trump. I said that he just makes shit up and he lies all the time. And I was right.
All right, any clarifications or anything like that?
I think I speak very clearly. I don't need to clarify anything.
That's fair.
There was also 2 iPhones.
Did someone
I
just
just
say
want to be sure we're
Pogs?
all on the same page.
There were
about that.
there were not two iPhone
there were
4Ss.
Gus?
We were talking about the 4S. I was right.
There was 2.
If I'm giving you butter, you better give me this one.
All right, fair play. All right, that's our clarifications. You want to bring out our other guest?
Sure, why not?
Yeah. So, as I said at the top of the podcast, we're going to bring out Mr. Ezra Cooperstein. Ezra, why don't you come on out? Ezra is the president of Rooster Teeth.
Yo.
Should I sit here?
Just, one of the things we mentioned on the podcast a while ago, and we haven't talked about it since, is that you and Matt have been talking about doing for first members, doing like a behind the scenes business thing, because you were in the vlog I did that was all about like what Rooster Teeth is like as a business, and people just love that vlog and they just want to see more of that stuff.
Yeah, how does it make money?
I've been trying to figure that out.
It's all YouTube.
Do we have enough time? No.
No, do you have enough time? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that I'm passionate about. I know Matt is too, but Rooster Teeth has such a this vibrant community, and it's really important, I think, for us to like demystify what this business is.
Mm-hmm.
And so, how can we pull back the curtain a little bit? How can we talk about some of the things that we do that are really, business decisions, but impact every single person who enjoys and loves Rooster Teeth, who's been with us for years and years and years? How can we explain a little bit deeper what the decision making is, how it impacts the business, and ultimately how it impacts the community? And I think that's it's probably not going to be the most watched show that we ever make, but I think it's an important one for us to do. And
Just get Mia Khalifa on there.
that I heard that gets a high hit rate.
Yeah. Got high batting average.
So yeah. So it's something that that Matt and I are going to end up doing soon, and I'm pretty excited about.
Yeah, so I mean, it was obviously when we did the whole thing with full screen, there was a lot of trepidation, I think, and people were like, "Oh shit!" They were trying to figure out all the ways that this could go wrong. But really, going back to that point in time, which is like 2011, Matt and I were thinking about the way the world was kind of changing around us. For a lot of times, Gus, we felt like we were kind of operating in plain sight as a company, and nobody was really paying attention to us. And we just kind of had our business model like wide out in the open, but everyone else was doing like all this weird stuff, like going all in on YouTube or, building their whole presence on Facebook and stuff like that. And so about 2011, when things really started changing, was when everyone really started to discover the digital video online world. And Netflix was like a big push in that direction. And so Matt and I were thinking, okay, we were a huge part of the first chapter of online video as an industry. We wanted to make sure we were part of the next chapter. And so we realized we're going to have to go out and get some investment, like a traditional business. We're going to have to go do that. And we knew 2 things were going to happen when we did that. We knew that the moment we took a single dollar, people were going to ask us to go out and start an MCN, which that was a big thing at the time. You know what an MCN is? It's basically like a multi-channel network, like Machinima. They gathered up a bunch of channels and put them in a big network. A big one, like 50,000 different channels. And we also knew that they would ask us to find a management team, people who would run a more traditional business in a media company. And so looking down the road at that, we started, that whole process. And then we met Ezra and George, the CEO of Fullscreen. Ezra was the president of Fullscreen at the time. We thought if we could hire 2 guys like this, if we could manage to make that happen, these are the kind of guys that we would want to find. So it just made sense for us to do that deal with Fullscreen, especially because y'all already had an MCN that is 80,000 channel partners, right?
It was big, yeah. It was really big. So we were like, to Rooster Teeth, we were like, let's not do that because that's what we already know how to do. Going back to why, for us, looking on the other side of the table, you guys were doing something and had something that was so intrinsically valuable, so cool, so different, so something that was, the MCN we realized was actually quite easy to build. Like what Rooster Teeth was something that was like super hard to build. It was like really amazing content and this huge global community of people that loved it. And like that was exciting for us. So for us, we didn't need you to build the MCN.
Yeah, and then Ezra was, being the president of Fullscreen, was working on a regular basis and basically said one day, it's like, I just like what you guys are doing we had a long talk about it. Now, Ezra became the president of Rooster Teeth and has moved from LA and moved his whole family. Now he lives in Austin, Texas with us every single day of the week. So
I
it's
saw-
awesome.
Well,
I saw a comment in chat. Someone wanted to ask you a question. I'm looking at the chat here on the live stream. And Zolgood93 asked, did Full Screen acquire Rooster Teeth just so you get a job here?
Yeah, I like that strategy. If you want a job at Rooster Teeth, just buy the company.
yeah. In some ways, actually, we bought Rooster Teeth so I could be on the Rooster Teeth podcast.
There you go. Yeah.
So this has all worked out for me. No, it's
Do
funny.
you quit after this? Is that done?
Yeah,
You're
I'm done. No, it's funny because when you kind of, I mean, I've been involved with Rooster Teeth not since I became president, but really for the last over 3 years. For the first couple of years, every single week I'd fly back and forth between LA and Austin, and then moved out here full time in November of last year. But when you join Rooster Teeth, there's kind of this undercurrent of like people say like hey, you should not try to be on shows, and like don't be like that's kind of like a thing that you don't want to necessarily do.
Takes
And
over
so-
your life.
Yeah, and so like I was like, okay, like I'll stay in the business side of this thing. And so it's actually really fun to finally like sort of step out of the shadows, and I'm no longer going to be part of the business. I'm just going to be like full talent. So like,
You'll regret
let's do this thing.
So we're looking for a new president now.
Yeah. Just as long as you don't take over my role on Ruby, I'm okay.
I was actually going to go for Always Open, but
Yeah, but I think too, it's like a lot of times it's when I read audience reaction stuff, they always attribute kind of the negative stuff that we do to Full Screen. Sometimes it's not the case. In a lot of cases, like
I want to talk about a negative thing after you get through this.
Oh, really? Okay, but it's like as one of the things I've always loved is since you've come on, we started working together, you kind of pushed us in directions that we wouldn't have gone before. Like I'm sure you'll correct me and say you're not fully responsible for these, but I give you full credit for the double gold box. Like that was an idea that came about because you were trying to figure out a way to make more valuable for people to be top level subscribers. And then you were also the person behind the lifestyle shirts, the barber shirts, and the Jeff shirts. Like you really wanted to do those things, and we just wouldn't have done those.
yeah. I mean, I always wanted to be a fashion designer.
Through like, it was amazing watching you interact with Jeff, getting that product launch initially.
Yeah, I was like, hey Jeff, I like that shirt you're wearing. Is that a Rooster Teeth shirt? He's like, no, it's just like, whatever website it was from. I like it. And it's just a white and black shirt. I'm like, that should be a Rooster Teeth shirt. Let's just go do that.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, looking at me, and I looked at him, and I kind of stared a little deeper at him, and a little deeper, and a little deeper into his soul. And then he was like, yeah, we should probably do that. So, that's kind of how the whole like Jeff line thing started.
Yeah,
But,
and because of that, then I got to do a line
yeah,
too. So
yeah.
thank
That's
you
been-
for
it's
staring
been-
at Jeff too
no,
much.
that's been fun.
Well, it's one of those things. It's like sometimes you need that push from the outside. I mean, like we would never do that. Like we would never. Previously, we wouldn't have like going to Jeff and saying, "Hey, we're going to make a line of shirts and we're going to call it the Jeff shirts." He'd be like, "No, we're not going to put my name on a shirt like I'm a fashion
Yeah.
designer or something like that."
Yeah.
But Ezra, like, yeah, no, people would like this. They like your style and they like what you're doing. Barb, people look up to your audience from Always Open. Really,
With
looks up
Jeff,
to you.
it's just kind of like you gotta hit the right point in like the Jeff ego. You gotta be like, like Michael Jordan has his own brand of sneakers, so no, he. It's fun working with him. He's so creative and so smart, and it's like a lot of things that I've been able to feel were really great things to do once I was able to sort of dive in fully into Rooster Teeth. You guys had such a great business and such a great foundation and so many great talented people. It was really like a kid in a candy store when I came over here, because it was like, okay, now we can go do more content. We can hire people that fit our culture but can help us move faster. We can go do all these new things. We can create more content. It was, all things that, that we were able to help empower, and then, it's continued to grow. And, I'm very proud of what we've all accomplished in the last several years. And
It's been nuts.
yeah, it's been pretty crazy. It's
I think it's gone really well. I can't believe it's already going to be 4 years coming up later this year that happened.
yeah, when you acquire companies, it's really this weird thing where like the process of acquiring a company is like, you do this whole, meet and greet and like a dating thing, and you're like learning about the company, and they give you like a big pitch book, and like Matt and Bernie were like, constantly like giving us all these slide presentations, and the whole time in your head you're kind of like, you have to have this like skepticism. You're like, is it really that good?
How can this go wrong?
I mean, like, is this as good as it gets? Is this what? And with Rooster Teeth, it's one of these companies where I think that it's better and better. It's better than what I could have ever imagined. Maybe because you guys are like so genuine and like so like truthful in the way that you represented the business.
We should have Ezra on the podcast more often.
I know, right?
Do you think it's possible to sell a company without using PowerPoint?
What do you think about that?
That's like a Gavin or Google style question.
Hey, Ez, let's find out. Let's go sell the company.
Like how good were these slides?
Anybody have Disney's number? Give them a call. They're buying a lot of companies.
Yeah, it's like PowerPoint's such like the language of business. It's like,
Who's your favorite person to work with at Rooster Teeth?
My favorite person. I mean, it's like I've got 3 kids. It's always like I always fuck with my wife every day. I'm like, I really like Sammy the most. To be totally honest, like Matt is a genius. Like Matt is, he's amazing. He's no offense to anyone on the stage and anyone at the company. We have a huge, incredibly talented team, but
if you'd have chosen anybody else, Matt would have just fired them. So
yeah.
it's good. You saved somebody their job.
No, Matt is he's like I've worked with a lot of really smart people. He is like the top of like anyone I've ever worked with in my entire career.
You've worked a ton of places too. Like you've been in online video as long as Rooster Teeth's been around, but probably longer, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've been in the space for a long time, and it's been a natural progression to get here.
I found we were talking backstage, and I found an old interview that Ezra did over 8 years ago, and I said, when we knew you were coming out with the podcast, I wanted to look up an old interview you had done and see what you felt about the answers. And you sat there and you looked at my laptop and you read it and you went, yeah, that's all right. I would still answer that way. And it's amazing that you still, after 8 years, a long time, like you still have that same vision and that same focus. And
what was that thing you tweeted about Ben Affleck yesterday?
I'll get to that in a second.
Okay.
But one of the questions was they were asking like about long-term professional goals, and your answer was running a media company that changes the landscape in some way, and eventually taking that knowledge and power to do social good. And I feel like
I think they're like there. I think we're getting there. I mean, like I think we do some great stuff as a company. Like, don't get me wrong. I think that but I think in the long term, like the impact that Rooster Teeth can have in people's lives is important. And we do. Extra Life is an incredible thing that we do every single year. But I think in the long term, like Rooster Teeth can have a way more profound impact on like culture and society. I mean, like I'm speaking in very high level terms, but I mean, yeah, I think we can get there. I hope so.
Yeah, Ezra, I think, was like the one guy where even when you're working with people on a day-to-day basis, working really closely, it's like Rooster Teeth is kind of a weird business, like especially the way we have like this ongoing two-way conversation. With the community, and the community is part of the company, and the company's part of the culture and part of the shows. It's kind of a hard thing to explain, even if people are seeing it in action. And Ezra's like the one guy I felt like who saw it the first time was like, I get what this is. I get what this is, and I get where this is going. I get what you guys want to turn it into, and I want to be part of that and work on it with you guys.
It's so special. I mean, now I'm still very attuned and connected to all the business exploits of like the companies that are above us. And every single day they're like, we want to find more Rooster Teeths. Like we want to go acquire more Rooster Teeths. And it's like, good luck finding them. They're they're so rare, right? It's not like there's just like there's all these Rooster Teeths hanging around that you can go find. And it's not because it's I mean, there's a whole story behind it, but it's such a rare thing that what we have, and so important and so cool that like we have this community that we're connected to them, and we create content that we love, that they want to watch, and that there's this whole symbiotic relationship that is truly super, super special. And You know, we're just, and I think we're only at the beginning of what it can ultimately become. And that's what I love every single day, is like pushing all the people in the company to like think bigger, you know, because it's like sometimes you get in a cycle of like, we can only do so much, or we can only go so big, and like, you know, what can we do that's beyond what we think we can do every single day.
What are you excited about that's coming? What's the big thing? Can you say it?
I mean, it's hard not to be excited about Genlock. You know,
Yeah,
it's really, I mean, I'm excited about Achievement Hunter. Did we announce that we're doing more of that?
Yeah,
okay, so more of that.
If not,
we did now.
That's like a symptomatic thing of you guys. Like you constantly like almost announcing things, but
no, we announce it by accident on the
Yeah.
podcast all the time.
We?
Yeah, collective we. We're all in this together. You fucking leave me out to dry like that. Fuck y'all. 500 podcasts.
I saw someone complain. You know, we're doing this 500th podcast in the Stateside Theater here in downtown Austin, and we got a live audience.
Hey, live audience.
And since, you know, we couldn't put the tickets up for free because then people from all over the world would just take them, and then we'd end up with an empty theater. So we have to put a low dollar value on it. So we said, you know, we'll put tickets on for $5, and if you show up, we'll give you a drink ticket so you can get a free drink. That way, it's not like a total ripoff.
Or a slab of cake.
No cake. And I saw someone
You don't want it.
in the
believe me.
comments when we announced that, complaining like, "Oh, typical Rooster Teeth cash grab." Do you know how much money it cost to put this on? we are definitely losing money right now.
Worth it. Worth it.
It was weird to me to think like, I think the capacity in this theater is maybe 250, maybe 300 people. It costs a lot more than $1,500 to rent the theater.
Just to clarify, Gus can't afford a sugar baby at 7-Eleven. So he's not rolling in it from this.
But I read the comment and it's just like, I'm disappointed that someone would think that we would take like an easy cash grab like that. And I'm also disappointed they think that is the low dollar amount it takes to make something profitable.
What, 5 bones?
Yeah, $5.
That will be the first topic of the business podcast with Ezra and Matt.
But it's about, you know, giving back and, you know, having a chance to chat in front of people, and I think it really gives the podcast a different energy. It's been good sitting here and listening to everyone laugh at all of my jokes.
Did you guys ever think that you'd get to 500 podcasts?
No.
We all hoped that we wouldn't.
Yeah.
It just, once we
Never.
started, there was never a, we need to stop or we need to take a break. I don't know why.
I genuinely look forward to it every week.
It's crazy.
When did we do the old, like the time flip podcast?
That was 350.
Was it 350? Because that seems like
That was
a
3 years. That was
lifetime ago.
3 years ago.
Yeah.
And that was supposed to be for 300, right? But you guys just didn't do it in time.
We thought about doing it for 300.
We talked
and then
about doing it for 500.
We missed it. Then we said, well, we should do it for 400. And I said, well, I don't want to wait till 400. That's so far in the future.
Right.
Let's do it for 350.
That was one where we recorded a podcast and then sat on it for a year and then just aired a super old podcast on the old set.
Yeah, it was from the Ralph Ablanedo set, even though we were in stage 5 by then.
Yeah. Yeah. So we
It
talked
was
about doing
actually
that.
the week we moved out.
Was it?
We were
Yeah.
packing up that week.
Yeah, it was like before Michael got married to Lindsay, and so he like was on that podcast, but he had to put on a fake wedding ring because by that time he would have been married already.
Right.
It was actually interesting because we had a moment on the pre-recorded one that was kind of historical, but we didn't know it. But Michael was smelling the dead mouse that was stuck in the speaker. And I referenced that on a future podcast. I was like, oh, Michael was kicking up a fuss about it. But I didn't realize that was the one that we weren't going to put out for like 18 months.
Yep.
So it finally came out, and they're like, oh, that's what he was talking about.
Yeah, the RT Life came out way before that podcast did.
Gab, I think the only other show associated with Rooster Teeth that has that long between production and release is probably Slow-Mo Guys, because there's some stuff you record that's... What's the longest you've gone between recording something and putting it out?
2.5 years, probably.
Yeah, wow.
Not
Yeah.
intentionally. It's just like, oh, that was a cool video that I never put out, and I'll just go back for some stuff.
You just have that thing where you know it's time to put that video out.
Yeah, I think the biggest gap was for the trailer. We didn't even host the video. I shot a hard drive moving in slow motion.
Yeah?
But I thought, I was like looking at other stuff that was going viral at the time. It was probably 2.5 years after I shot it. I was like, that would probably do well, but just because I don't think there's a lot of people who've seen it inside a hard drive. So I just uploaded it without, like, I'm not in it, Dan's not in it. I just put it up. It got like 5 million views. I was like, I can't believe I was sat on 5 million views on my hard drive. It was just there the whole time. I was like,
What
Yeah,
happened?
that's probably the biggest
what
gap.
happened with Dan's uvula?
Yeah, you're getting demonetized a lot
They
now.
demonetized Dan's uvula. Wait, I mean, his uvula's been in every video so far, and they haven't kicked up a
It's
fuss. I don't know.
obscene.
And just to clarify,
assume
if you're
it-
not familiar with the term uvula, it's cock and balls is what
Yeah.
that is.
So
Yeah, and Dan's cock and balls are in every video.
your hard drive video is at 11.5 million views now.
Oh, is it 11?
11.5.
Jesus.
So
I was just making trailer fodder.
when they demonetize a video, even after like 4 or 5 years, that affects you, right? I mean, that's
Yeah, I guess it does. I mean, there's YouTube Red, which kind of, it's more funny, really.
just something to point out that they're just like shutting
Yeah.
stuff off.
It's more of a lol. But I mean, the thing is, there's nothing offensive about it. His uvula does look like a vagina in the thumbnail.
True.
And I deliberately shot it so that it was very questionable
What
looking.
vaginas are you seeing?
Well, I don't know. You
It's the
glance
belly
in,
button ones.
You yeah, the ones that are right here.
Yeah, yeah. Barbara, very conveniently placed though.
But the thing is, it's not a vagina. Why
Well-
is it demonetized?
If you close your eyes and imagine hard enough, it could be. Call me, Dan. Call me.
It was the intent.
Yeah, it was the intent. And the intent was there. They were right. But it's his mouth.
So, Ez, I want to thank you for coming on. Who's going to RTX, Austin? Yes. Dude, that is going to be so much fun. We have so much stuff that's in the works, like so much stuff at the event, so much stuff in the like clubs surrounding the event at night and everything like that. Ez, are you going to take part in Matt's panel this year? Will you? Sometimes I go and like moderate
I'm
with the
going to be
audience.
in the audience asking
Yeah.
the tough questions.
There you go. Getting answers finally, right?
Yeah, no, it's there's so much cool stuff this year at RTX. I'm super excited, and the nighttime program is like nonstop. It's crazy. Like there's 3 things every night that I want to be doing. So it's gonna be super cool and super fun, and yeah.
And if you have any questions about the business or anything like that, and you're going to RTX, look for Ez. He's easy to spot. He'll be the big shaved head that's like 2 feet above everybody else. So, Ez, thanks for coming on, man.
Thank you so much.
Ezra Cooperstein, everybody. Yeah, and if you are going to RTX Austin, one of the panels I would definitely recommend if you're a hardcore Rooster fan or a creator yourself, you should go to Matt's Ask the CEO panel, because that's always a great one. We have that at every single RTX. Matt, you doing it this year? You doing it? He's doing it. Matt, you're my favorite too, just so you know, so Ezra doesn't get in the way of our love. You're my favorite.
I like you more than Bernie and Ezra combined. Yes. It finally worked.
Well, guys, 500 podcasts.
It's a lot of podcasts.
It's a lot of podcasts. I'm surprised that I can sit down with you guys, very pleasantly surprised that I can sit down with you guys pretty much every week and just have a conversation and just catch up with you guys. And it just feels like, it never gets old to me.
Well, the downside is that we have to withhold conversation throughout the week. It's like there's things I want to tell you, and I'm like, no, I can't. I have to wait. Like I didn't let you all know I didn't text you when the sugar baby thing happened. Like,
Yeah.
I could have given you that right. I was like, nope, I need to wait till Monday, and then we'll talk about it.
My favorite
Yeah,
is
and
right before the podcast when I be chatting, and it's like, nope, save it for the podcast, save it for the podcast.
Yeah, and I
every
didn't
week.
let you guys know that I booked a massage and somehow managed to lose all of our Microsoft contracts at one go.
Or you gained a lot more.
Sorry about that. God, how embarrassing. No, but it's great. But Gus, just to let you into, it's like we talk all week. You just don't talk to any of us.
It's true. I think that in addition to the Jeff and Barbara line of clothing, we should have a Gus line that's just stay-at-home comfortable clothes.
Oh.
It's just like pajamas and house slippers.
Sweatpants.
Right, like fuck you, I'm not going outside.
Do you know what? I don't even know if I should say this. I pitched a whole line of clothing for you.
Really?
Yeah, I did. But it's all antisocial clothing. It's like bomb squad stand 500 feet back, like that kind of stuff. Or service dog do not pet.
Or those hoodies that zip all the way up through the hood.
I love those.
Or just a big white hood.
That says
That
Dunce
would
on
be
it. One of those like sleeping pods where you can isolate yourself from everybody else.
I love it.
You started an Instagram account recently. If you don't follow guys,
Recently.
You have an Instagram?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's G. Cirola.
I've had it for like a
Sorolla.
G Sorolla.
G. Sorolla.
Some asshole took Sorolla. That's what I get for showing up to a platform late.
I hope it's Esther.
You are like 10 years late to Instagram.
I'm super
We
late
all
to
are.
Instagram. I fought it forever.
Barbara's like the only person who was smart enough to
I was still late. Still very late to the game.
Yeah.
I think I started mine back in November, maybe. So not quite a year. So super late.
Gavin only had a picture of his knee for like the first 4 years.
I had to ease myself in.
Took the easy way in.
This is art.
What's that?
You got like food, you got dogs, what have you got in there?
Mostly food and travel stuff.
Like
for the
picture of a plane wing through a window.
No, he's got some nice portraits of like Gus on a rock at the beach.
It was not
you
a
haven't been
beach.
to a beach.
It was on a mountain.
In New Zealand, right?
Yes.
Well, a mountain's like the beach for air.
See, look at that. Look at that. Is that not a great photo?
500 podcasts, I finally become Gavin.
It's like the beach for air. Well, what's the regular beach like for what?
It's
The
beach for
ocean?
water.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a mountain for the. Oh, there it is.
It's beautiful.
So you've got the gas, you've got the solid, you got the water, you got the liquid.
Yeah,
What's a beach for a solid?
lava. It's a volcano.
Damn.
pretty
It's a good answer.
Damn.
You shut me down with that one.
Yeah.
So, but I noticed on your Instagram account that you don't follow anybody except for Esther.
I followed one more person yesterday.
Well, who'd you
Who?
follow?
Chrissy Teigen.
What's going on with her?
What's that?
What's going on with her? What's the story there?
I just think she's hilarious.
All right.
She's way funnier than you
No,
three.
easy. There's a thing going on. There's like a big hub, like a drama. There's drama.
Oh, she posted a photo of herself breastfeeding, and people didn't like that.
Really?
Yeah.
But did the milk, was it water first?
It's always something. Who knows? It's a stupid world we live in.
She's breastfeeding a baby, right?
A baby and a
Oh,
dog.
it wasn't John Legend.
It wasn't a dog. Don't worry. There was no sexual gratification going on of the dog.
I just want to know what the context is before I start defending her. That's ridiculous. That's like, you guys see the U.S. pressured a bunch of different countries to abandon a UN resolution to just promote breastfeeding.
I think it was World Health Organization.
World
but-
Health
yeah,
Organization,
same
was
thing.
that what it was?
Yeah.
What's the logic there?
The logic was they got paid by formula companies because the language of the bill restricted certain types of advertising for formula in favor of promoting breastfeeding.
Oh, okay.
So there was some financial incentive there.
Well, so the formula companies were saying they didn't want the restrictions on their advertising.
Correct.
What are the restrictions?
I don't know. The
Just don't
specifics.
advertise?
Yeah. I don't know.
They should ban all advertising. That'd be great.
Animal.
We want to thank our sponsors, but yeah, we should ban all advertising. Yeah, it's like one of those things when you read the headline, it just seems so atrocious. It's like
Well,
the
also,
UN
like,
is
the-
against babies now.
The measures that they were taking, threatening sanctions against countries, and in the end, Russia has to introduce the bill because the U.S. can't intimidate Russia. So, and then the resolution goes through with some modified language that the U.S. pushed for.
Good Lord.
Yeah, it's
I've
crazy.
been playing, so I played Detroit.
That's a great segue.
Towards the end, you're trying to get to Canada, and I watch Handmaid's Tale, where they're just constantly trying to get to Canada.
It's the place to be.
I mean, what would Canada
You
do?
moved out of Canada. Shut up.
Yeah, well, like, what?
Touche.
Canada's always apparently in media, just like okay with the entirety of America just immigrating over there.
It's probably because there's more people in California, the state of California, than there are in the entire country of Canada. So we're a little sparse up there.
Yeah, everyone's very close to the border.
A lot
right?
of land, that means.
Yeah.
Get up there. Global warming, all that stuff will be habitable pretty soon.
Yeah.
So you're saying buy now for future investment.
Buy some tundra. That's what I would do if I was you. Buy some tundra.
How much is tundra?
About
Cheaper.
about $350.
Doesn't have any resources on it though. Using the civilization model, it doesn't have anything. Can't grow wheat.
What makes it tundra?
It's-
It's not about cold, is it? Is it about cold? Because they always say like
I
Arctic
think it's
tundra.
about cold. I think it's about a level of permafrost.
Yeah, gotta eat blubber. That's a thing. What? We have
really
a
like that
geologist
answer.
is in the crowd.
Was that a clap for blubber or permafrost?
Permafrost. Confirmed.
Hey, dude, this is the dude who jerked off the dog. I think. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure it's the same guy.
Allegedly.
This guy's got all the answers.
I don't know. We'll We'll have to buy some tundra.
I would get an acre of tundra.
So I'm going to reveal something that I've never talked about in the podcast.
How much tundra do you have?
Before. Because this is only coming up because of the context.
Of tundra?
This is only coming up because of the context of the buying tundra and future benefit. So a few years ago, one of our special guests on the podcast, Joel Heyman, would come on a regular basis. And he would talk about gold. And I would get in these long discussions with Joel about gold. He said, well, when the economy collapses, God, gold is going to be all that's left. I go, but gold's just a metal. It has no value like in a post-apocalyptic society. It's just another thing that people say, this is valuable. And he goes, no, it's gold. It has value. It's like, no, it doesn't. Value is something that people assign to something. You can't eat gold if your family is starving. It's like gold is just a currency just like anything else.
I think what I said was you can't eat it or fuck it, so it has no value.
You could fuck it if you tried hard enough.
So,
Just saying.
so in
Trading
an
in
effort to
sandwiches and pussy from now on.
In an effort to prove Joel wrong, back all those years ago, I bought Bitcoin as a joke. And then I forgot that I bought Bitcoin for this joke. Until about last year. That's the best joke I've ever told in my life. I probably owe Joel a lot of fucking money for that joke.
There was a time where one Bitcoin was like $19,000.
Yep.
Did you get a handful?
What's that?
Could you tell us how many bitcoins
I
you
couldn't
bought?
fill Barbara's vag purse with it, but well, I guess I could now.
I don't like this joke.
I've never talked about that before because I don't like talking about like money stuff,
Yeah.
but that is fucking ridiculous. Maybe I'll say how much. Let me think about it.
Well,
Maybe in the
sell it?
post-show we can talk about it.
It's the reason why we can sell tickets for $5. I'll put it that way. So thanks, Joel, for coming on the podcast. And that's my I was right moment. Was buying Bitcoin because Joel was wrong.
Well, let's get to wrapping this up.
All right.
So I want to thank everyone for watching. Thank our live studio audience. And we'll see you guys again next week back at our normal time at 5 p.m. for episode 501. Bye.